It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to the Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. On this, the 8th day of December 2023. Supposed to be coming to you from Great Stirrup Key, actually. Breaking news from Norwegian Escape. That canceled us out this morning due to ocean conditions. Seems like the tenders, it was a little too rough for the tenders to get in. So we lost the port of call. So we're just going to sail around today and then go back into Port Canaveral tomorrow. You know, it happens this time of year. What can I say? All right, this morning, guys, on as far as the news goes, there's some stories that I just really hate to have to bring to you. It's one thing to do one lousy story on a day. I got 3 really crappy stories this morning, but I got no choice but to report them. The headlines today: a woman killed in a shark attack. That's the lead story. The crew member arrested for rape. Longest river cruise sold out. MSC updates Opera and Musica. Crown's Edge is going to be $90. What? San Diego increases their shore power. And a youth counselor arrested. Royal Caribbean changes their photo perks and a lot more live here at 11 o'clock this morning. Today, folks, is National Brownie Day. I can deal with that. The old fat guy does like a brownie every now and then. And they've got really good cookies and sweets on this ship. I saw some brownies up in the Solo Lounge last night. Didn't have one, but I will today. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcast from. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and voila, up pops the fat travel guy. Anytime you're listening to the podcast, if you ever want to jump over to the video feed to see clips or pictures or interviews on that day's show, there's always a link in the description of the podcast. So you can do just that. I had some news this morning from Rochelle in Australia. The Jasper cyclone is now a Category 4, a Category 5 during the day today. Rochelle was safely on board Brilliance of the Seas, heading south to get away from the storm. She said she's just going to have to go back to Australia to see the Great Barrier Reef. She doesn't mind doing that. Don't forget, folks, if you haven't hit the like button, smash that like button. That always helps the channel out. If you haven't subscribed, please take this as my invitation to do so. Hit the bell notification and you can be notified when I go live or when a new video is up. Before we get to today's news, folks, Hot Air Tom sent some pictures in from on board the Norwegian Joy. This was Hot Air Tom at Ocean Blue. Guess what he was going to have? That would be some lobster. And then he had some beef. And, of course, Hot Air Tom slathers roast beef with horseradish. I like horseradish on my prime rib. But, I mean, he puts it on so thick that my eyes water. Let's see, what else do we have here? Hey, he had a dirty martini. I don't care much for dirty martinis, but at least he's working on getting his vegetable levels up where they should be. And then they had a little dessert. Looks like they had some pecan pie and some bread pudding. And then Cindy loved the show, which was pontoon or something like that. Come on, picture change. Anyway, it's a little slow here. Again, folks, the Wi-Fi kind of sucks on this ship, so it's always subject to do weird things, cut out and whatever. All right, the top story, the lead story today comes not far from here, as a matter of fact. A tragic story. Police have identified a tourist from Massachusetts who was killed in a shark attack off Nassau. Bahamian police identified the woman as Lauren Erickson Van Wart, of Boston math teacher, who died from injuries suffered in the attack. The shark bit her as she was paddleboarding with her husband behind a resort in western New Providence, an island off Bahamas. Sandals Royal Bahamas Resort said in a statement that Van Wart was a guest there. The resort said it was saddened by her death and was providing support for her loved ones. The investigation continues, police said yesterday. All right, I'll be back with 3 or 4 more stories after a quick break from one of our network sponsors. All right, the next story, guys. A 25-year-old crew member from India was arrested by the Guardia Civil for the alleged rape of a passenger on board a cruise ship. The arrest occurred last Friday after the ship docked at the port of Mallorca. According to judicial sources, the incident occurred while the cruise ship was en Palma. The accused established a connection with the passenger, and their acquaintance developed to the point that they agreed to meet in the woman's cabin after his work hours. That's when the alleged rape occurred. Following the assault, the victim reported the incident to the ship's crew, who alerted the Spanish authorities about the incident. Law enforcement agents arrested the suspect, and in less than 48 hours, the accused was brought before the court, where he presented his versions of the event. All right, the next story this morning, folks. American Cruise Line announced that the longest river cruise in history, 61-day Great United States and the 35-day Civil War battlefield cruises, are now sold out for 2024. Both itineraries are sailing for the first time in 2024. The 61-day Great United States itinerary explores 26 states, sailing August 16th to October 14th. And the 35-day Civil War battlefields itinerary explores 20 Civil War battlefields, sailing May 3rd to June 6th. MSC Cruises announced that they have made adjustments to the deployment in 2024 for the MSC Musica in the Western Mediterranean. The new program replaces the ship canceled sailings that included Haifa and Israel as a result of the ongoing geopolitical situation. The ship will now operate 7-night sailings from Civitavecchia, going to Genoa, Cannes, Barcelona, Ibiza, and Cagliari in Sardinia, before returning to Civitavecchia. The new program runs from May until October. MSC also updated the summer sailings for the MSC Opera with additional calls to the Greek island. The ship will operate 7-night sailings between May 12th and October 5th from Bari to Piraeus, Santorini, Cologne, Corfu, and Kefalonia before returning to Bari. Royal Caribbean International has announced, wrong picture, got to go the right direction, fat man. All right, Royal Caribbean International has announced that they're going to charge $89.99 per guest for the experience of the Crown's Edge on Icon of the Seas. The price was revealed by the company's website, which is now accepting bookings for the new ropes course style attraction mounted on the ship's crown and anchor logo. The Crown's Edge features a suspended walkway that changes shapes and formats during its cruise. The thrill ride culminates with the pathway unexpectedly dropping and leaving passengers dangling 154 feet above the water. I don't think so. Not for me, even if it was free, much less for $90. And the last news story this morning comes out is adding more shore power connectivity at its B Street cruise ship terminal to improve air quality and reduce greenhouse gas emissions on and around San Diego Bay. Sad story today, folks, that I've tried to avoid and couldn't. The Miami New Times reported today that the FBI arrested a 35-year-old cruise ship youth coordinator employed by Celebrity Cruises for sexually abusing a 6-year-old girl in the youth center of the Celebrity Silhouette during a cruise in the Caribbean last week. The child was taking a cruise with her parents when the crime took place. Her parents had dropped the little child off at Camp at Sea program at the youth center. The youth counselor, who was identified as Chris John Pentinio Castor, an employee, was hired from the Philippines. And if he's found guilty, folks, they ought to make him walk the plank. And finally, this morning, guys, the Royal Caribbean International is adjusting one of its loyalty perks for members of the Crown and Anchor Society, adding new discounts and free photos depending on the guest's loyalty levels. The new benefits take effect on December the 9th for all guests at the Platinum or higher levels. New Platinum guests can receive 20% off a single print photo package or photo book. Emerald guests receive the same benefit, but at a 25% discount. Diamond, Diamond Plus, and Pinnacle guests receive a 30% discount. So Royal changing up a few things this morning. All right, that's going to wrap up the news portion of today's show. Real quickly, I'll jump over in the chat room and see if anybody is with us today and fussing at me for anything. All right, let's see what we got here. Mike's with us. Hi, Mike. Dennis is here. Good morning, Dennis. Sea days are my favorite. Yeah, but I was actually looking forward to going into a Great Stirrup Key today because of the new accessible boats. So I really wanted to try them out and see how they work and do some filming too, So I'm a little disappointed from that standpoint, but normally I like sea days as well. Let's see. Katie's with us. Amy's here. Eddie, Eddie, Brooklyn in the house. Eddie is with us. Musica. That's what I said. Musica. Cindy's here. Hi, Cindy. Lunchtime for her at work. You're a little blurry, but the sound is fine. Yeah, that's the Wi-Fi. It's been tough. This is the best place I found on the whole ship. So you can imagine what it is elsewhere. I haven't been able to upload anything except in the middle of the night. It's just awful. Kenneth here in Pennsylvania. Hi, Kenneth. Excuse me. Cherokee, also spelled Iroquoian. Vienna somewhat silent. Okay. Joanne's here. Good morning, Joanne. All right. That's going to wrap me up for today, folks. As you know, I'll get into Port Canaveral tomorrow. Start to drive back to Virginia. May do something on the road. You never know. We'll see how it goes. May do something, pop up later on today. So keep tuned to this channel, but you never know what's going to happen. I'm hoping to spend some time filming today because I'm grossly behind on all that. And anyway, that's going to wrap it up for today and this weekend. Hope all of you have a wonderful day and a great weekend. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. See you next time, guys. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little